This is the Rocky Run shelter. Nice little living area, this double deck that provides for really 8 to 10 people pretty comfortably. Nice picnic table, little benches, little fire pit, privy back off to the right. Good place to stay. Good morning, everybody. So just coming up out of the Rocky Run shelter. Good night's sleep. Slept down there with Reset and Suds, and then two other section hikers that I didn't really get their names. Reset, we met down near Woods Hole. Well, actually, Reset and Suds we met down near Woods Hole month and a half ago probably, and now that we flip back up north, just an example of the people we're going to run into again. So we did. Good night's sleep. A couple snorers, but fortunately they were on again, off again, so really got some good rest in between snoring sessions. So all around good stop. Good shelter, good clean shelter really. Good privy, good water source, good everything. That's the second one that we've seen since we've been on the trail since Harper's Ferry. So hopefully they're all like that going forward. Good shelters, and it looks like they're not going to be overcrowded. So we'll see. Anyways, got 19.9, I think it is, to the Raven Rock or Raven Cliff shelter, and I think that's where we're going to stay tonight. And so yeah, let's get hiking. We're here at Fox's Gap. We're pretty prominent or somewhat prominent battle between the Union and Confederate forces took place, and this marker says near here in Wise's Field on the morning of September 14th, 1862, Brigadier General Samuel Garland Jr., Confederate States Army of Lynchburg, Virginia, fell mortally wounded while leading his men. And it appears someone's trying to deface the marker. That's unfortunate. Regardless of what you think of our past is our history, and at some point we ought to hold up our history and learn from it, not deny it and try to forget it. But that's my opinion, and means something to me, might not mean nothing to you. Each one's to decide. And then that's just marking more of Wise Field. This is, I don't know. We'll go in here and see. Well, maybe we won't. I don't know. Oh, Reno. Ninth Army Corps. Dedicated. Reno Pass, Reno Gap. This is also known as something like that. erected by the survivors of the 9th Army Corps to their commander and comrades, September 14th, 1889. Battles, Veracruz, Cerro Cordes, Contreras, Churubusco, Chapultepec, Roanoke Island, New Bern, Camden, and Bull Run, Chantilly, and South Mountain. This monument marks the spot where General Jesse Lee Reno, commanding 9th Army Corps U.S. Volunteers, was killed in battle on September 14, 1862. Our history. We should preserve it. Now, just across the road, and this is highlighting the Stonewall Regiment. More than 90,000 Michigan men served in the Union Army and Navy during the Civil War. The 17th Michigan Volunteer Infantry Regiment was mustered at the Detroit Barracks in August of 1862 under the command of Colonel William H. Withington. The regiment consisted of raw recruits from the field, workshop, and schoolroom. One company was composed entirely of students from Ypsilanti Normal School, now Eastern Michigan University. With less than a month of military training, the 17th left Washington, D.C. on August 27, 1862. From there, it was sent to the Maryland campaign. On September 14th, a little more than 2 weeks after leaving the state, and just 3 days before the Battle of Antietam, the regiment engaged in battle here. Yeah. Significant, particularly for all of those of us from Michigan. All right, so we're back on the trail and we're hiking. But just I think we covered it a couple months ago, but I'll cover it again. I get very agitated when people deface Civil War memorabilia, because I think as they're doing that, they're not stopping. They're thinking of the politics, not the people. The politics that they think the Civil War was fought over, and without a doubt, to one degree or another, they're correct. But they're completely missing the people. And whether we like it or not, our history tends to remember our leaders, not our people. But if we take down all the reminders of history, we're really taking down leaders and leaders' names. But at the end of the day, the people that were actually involved in those conflicts, those situations, that history, the only thing they have is those monuments. And so in essence, we're taking away all memory of the people that were involved in those battles, those situations, that history. And again, I just think we ought to really think hard about that, I just think we're not thinking hard enough about that, because those that forget their history are destined to relive their history. And I think in our effort to recognize all people, what we're really doing is choosing to ignore in our desire to recognize or honor some people. We're forgetting other people. In understanding, it's very hard to recognize all people, all times. But again, I think we got to put a lot more thought into it than what we are. And just a quick shot of Old Smoky. Again, part of our history. I'm not sure Smoky's as big today as he was when we were kids. I always remember him coming to school, and that was definitely the highlight of the day, seeing Smoky, getting a picture with Smoky. Very nice. We are here in Boonesboro, Maryland, at the Washington Monument. And apparently this was the first Washington Monument built some 60 years before the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. And this talks about the monument itself. Volunteer villagers of nearby Boonesboro celebrated their Independence Day of July 4th, 1827 by building and dedicating this first monument to the memory of George Washington. Repaired and altered many times over 100 years by patriotic citizens, it was finally restored to its original design between 1934 and 1936 by the Civilian Conservation Corps. This monument, used by the Union Army during the Civil War as a signal station in its surrounding land, was bought by the Washington County Historical Society in 1922 and presented to the state of Maryland for park development in 1934. The massive structure was certified a Maryland Historic Monument in March 1972 and a National Historic Monument in November of 1972. And this is the view off the backside, the west side of the Washington Monument. So we are here at High Rocks, Maryland. We are almost 10.5 into our day, which means we're 26 miles into Maryland. And man, what a great view. 180 degrees. Just Nice little view as we're walking along in a very rocky pathway. I don't even know if this is in Guthooks, but nice view. Well, here's something we haven't experienced in quite some time. Walking through an open field. And we walk upon another stone fence. Still amazing. And apparently whoever lived here had a lot to fence off. So we're 20 miles into the day. We got 0.6 left to the shelter. And we just filled up at this cascading water stream. So we about got our miles done. We got our water to get us through the night. And now all we got to do is get to camp. So let's hike on.